Good morning. Happy Palm Sunday. Today is the day that we think of and remember how Jesus, at the beginning of the last week of his life, rode on a donkey through the streets of Jerusalem into the city. And he was fulfilling verses that were foretold by Zechariah. Now you can find Zechariah in the Old Testament. Zechariah is the second to last book of the Old Testament. Malachi's at the end, Zechariah's just before it. And in chapter 9, verse 9, it's the verse that Matthew quotes. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Lo, your king comes to you. Triumphant and victorious is he, humble and riding on an ass, on a colt, the foal of an ass. I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. And he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. It's in the middle of a chapter. If you get a chance to read the whole chapter today, that would be a good thing. Chapter 9 of Zechariah. And it is a prophecy which Jesus fulfilled. It's a strange thing. I often think when I read the Old Testament prophets, how strange it must have been the words they felt they had to write down. Because here we have, in one verse, completely contrasting picture. We have a picture of the king coming to Jerusalem. Triumphant and victorious is he. Now when a king came home from battle, from war, and was riding triumphantly into his capital, he rode on a beautiful, magnificent horse, usually a white horse, dressed in all his finery, with his whole army marching behind him, with flags and trumpets and shouting and acclamation. And certainly when the Romans did it, their triumphal entries, they built arches, triumphal arches, under which the emperor would, the Caesar would parade on his horse. And in the train behind the king or the emperor coming home, there would be all the captives, all the defeated soldiers, all the great people of the country or place that had been conquered. And here he says, he has this picture of the King of Kings. This is the whole chapter is a prophecy about the second coming, about how the Messiah will be triumphant. The one that is promised will win and come to Jerusalem in triumph. And there's this picture of the king coming, and the word king conjures up the idea of a person in his majesty, in his robes and his elegance. And then the second half of verse 9, humble and riding on an ass, on a colt, the foal of an ass, on a donkey. Jesus riding on a donkey. The king would never ride a donkey. The donkey was a pack horse. The donkey was for ordinary people. It was not for the king. The king would not ride a donkey. But our king rode a donkey. A donkey. I'm going to show you my donkey. I finished him this week. I'm crocheting a new nativity set. And here is my donkey. I put a cross on his back, because donkeys have a cross on their back. Here's my donkey. Just finished him. Donkeys featured in the life of Jesus, didn't they? Mary rode to Bethlehem on a donkey. We have no scriptural evidence for that, but there is no doubt at all that she would never have walked that far from Nazareth all the way down to Bethlehem. She must have ridden on a donkey. And there were no trains, and no cars, no bicycles, none of the modes of transport we use today. She'd have ridden on a donkey. And the humble donkey is a symbol of the kind of kingship, the kind of leadership that Jesus came to bring. And those who acclaimed him coming into Jerusalem recognized what he was doing. They knew this prophecy from Zechariah. They knew it was about the Messiah. It was a prophecy that the Messiah would be triumphant. And the verse that follows it talks of peace. I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. Jesus has begun his reign, but it's not a public reign yet. One day it will be. But when he went into Jerusalem, it marked the beginning of his kingdom. And that's why the Gospels contain so much, a huge proportion of each of the Gospels is about the last week in the life of Jesus, because it was the week that ended with the weekend that changed the world forever. So as you think about the donkey and you think about Jesus coming into Jerusalem, think about the fact that his triumph is assured, it is certain, it is accomplished. No one can take away his victory from him, and we live in the light of his great victory. Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.